welcome to the 9 seasons of U.S. history. I might not have included all the tea, but I included 28 minutes of tea. Enjoy. We are about to learn all of history on one board. You ready?
Yay!
Okay. And you're going to watch this later. Yes. Right there. Okay, let's go. So, 1491. Complex society. Native Americans already lived here, right? How many? A lot. Good. So it matters. But 1492, the beginning of the Columbian Exchange. Why? Because Columbus arrives. Triangular trade. Disease spreads. 1607, the first colony, Jamestown. 1619, the House of Burgesses. The first enslaved people arrive in Virginia. Reminder, this is not everything. This is just an overview timeline, right? Feel free to jump in if we're missing anything. 1620, Mayflower Compact. The Pilgrims arrive. This is the first example of self-government in the New World of us, Europeans.
And House of Burgesses.
And yes, but I said that already. House of Burgesses, right, is the first example of representative democracy. Very good. Virginia colony. 1630, the Puritans come looking for religious freedom. This was the Massachusetts Bay Colony. Then we get there's a lot that goes on. Lots of new colonies. 13 colonies get set up here. But keep in mind, in 1651, the British set up the Navigation Acts. Do the colonists adhere to them?
No.
No. Why?
Smuggling.
Salutary neglect. Because it was just more affordable for them to ignore all that. 1676, obviously there's a lot we're missing here, but in 1676, I would know Bacon's Rebellion. Why was that significant?
Bacon.
Good. Indentured servitude and slavery. They're going to further entrench slavery and racial divide. And what? One of the first rebellions. Another rebellion not here is 1690. What was that one? Stoner Rebellion. That was a slave rebellion in South. This is wet. Okay, in South Carolina, and it makes them further entrenched slave codes. Now, 1730s, First Great Awakening. People were losing their religion. They found new ways to bring people into the church. Think Jonathan Edwards, George Tenet. They brought emotion into the religion and made it more personable and more democratized. It was really maybe the first democratic moment. Something we forgot to write here. What did we forget to write? Another big democratic moment for the world. Enlightenment period.
Oh, yeah.
Right? And these things are going to influence the ideology that leads to the American Revolution. Something we didn't talk a lot about. We should have the 1733 Peter Zenger trial in New York. It establishes freedom of the press, which is going to be our First Amendment. In 1754, this is when period 2 begins. That's the French and Indian War, right? There's something called the Albany Plan of Union. There's a famous etching that is drawn by a guy named Ben Franklin. What does it say on it? It's a snake. What does he say?
Join or die.
Join or die, right? And what he means by that is we need to come together to fight the French. Do they do that? No, but they will eventually. Okay, then, right after the French and Indian War, it ends in 1763. What begins in 1763, the French and Indian War ends, and also so does salutary neglect, the beginning of taxes to pay for this very expensive